Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to pick the perfect area, right? How to pick the perfect entry and really pinpoint the market right to the pip. How to pick that perfect point of interest to actually get that big, like those large RR moves, right? Those 1 to 50s, those 1 to 60s. Spoiler alert, there is none. Okay, there is no perfect entry. Just because there is an order block or a point of interest does not mean that it's going to respect it. Okay, to be respected. First, we need to understand that as price starts to make its way to the upside, right, this whole big imbalance, right, this whole area has many inefficiencies in it, right? We have inefficiencies all the way through this whole entire move, right? That means that there's a gap ultimately in price. Okay, so you want to think of it like you're rolling paint. Like if someone's rolling paint on the screen or you're rolling paint on the wall, right? And as you go like this, right, you come down, you roll paint. Well, what happens, right? When you get to the end of the wall, you need to come back and fill these areas in, okay? And this is exactly how price works, okay? It's the same kind of idea. As we go straight to the upside, ultimately we need to start making our way down, right? And filling in this whole entire inefficiency or imbalance, whatever you want to call it, okay? And then ultimately finding a POI somewhere around here, maybe around here. And this brings me to my point, right? So as price starts to fill in these areas of inefficiency, right? And we start to make our way back down, you could be entering here. You'd get stopped out. You could also be entering at a nice area of demand here and you'd get stopped out, okay? There are plenty of times where I'm trying to find an entry and it's -1, -1, and then boom, like finally I get that entry, okay? And what a lot of smart money traders, what a lot of mentors, what a lot of Forex gurus, and pretty much everyone, when they say that you can pinpoint the market and how you can pick the perfect area to enter from, it's actually complete bullshit, okay? So that is not a thing. Do not worry. You are not missing anything. That is not possible. It's not possible because ultimately you don't know which area price is going to react off of. This is all a game of probabilities. You take the chance, right? You take the chance at this area of demand. You take the chance at this area of demand down here. You take a -1. You take a chance at this area of demand down here, okay? There you go. There's your entry. Okay. But you did take a loss leading up to this. Okay. There's no telling what price is going to do. Price could tap in, redistribute, and then come down to the downside, which brings me to my next point. As we start to fill in, right, we make this, again, this big area of inefficiency, we fill it in. Okay. And this is constantly happening in the market. As soon as we tap into our area of interest, right, we take this swing high over here. Take relatively equal highs over here. Okay. And as we're doing this, as we're going into this, we tap into a higher time frame area of supply. Okay. So here we are in our higher time frame area of supply. And what do we have, right? We have a whole entire distribution schematic, right? We have our Wyckoff, our preliminary supply, our buyer's climax, our secondary test, creating equal highs, right? Creating liquidity, our UTAD, our break in structure, and somewhere our entry up here at a last point of supply. Now, you can obviously see that we left behind a nice 4-hour area of supply. You cannot just set your entry like this, right? And this is going to be the whole point of the video. So please just pay attention here. You cannot just set your entry as a risk entry. You can, but it's more risky, okay, to take the market lower. Instead of doing this and taking this risk entry with 30 pips, you can go down to lower time frames and start looking for inducement and liquidity. Okay. And this is what a lot of people have been asking questions about. And ultimately what a lot of people are struggling with is their entries. Okay. And where to get into the market. After you have a nice break in structure from your distribution schematic, right, you should automatically be targeting to, I mean, not targeting, but, you know, looking to get in at this area. Okay, so let's go down to something like the 30-minute and understand what's going on here, right? So I'm actually going to replay this market to here when we actually made this 4-hour POI. Okay. Now we create this area. We create this area of interest, right? Smart money ultimately creates this area. They buy heavily and then they sell off heavily, which means eventually they're going to have to come back up here to mitigate those positions that are negative. Okay. Why? Because price is selling. And as price is selling, you can see that we start to engineer this liquidity, right? We start creating equal highs. okay? And even more, right? We start to create these trend lines to the downside. Now, retail traders can be looking at this. Let me just go back here. We create this trend line, right? These retail notions, and we create this trend line. Okay, now when price comes back, right? When price bounces off and then price comes back here, retail traders are going to be selling off. Okay, little do they know, okay, they get blown, right? Now, what happens? Price breaks through this trend line. Okay, now all the retail traders have their buy stops or buy limits set here because they believe in the break and retest, right? They had a trend line here. Okay, they tried to sell here at the trend line, right, to take the market lower. They got stopped out. Oh, okay, now this candle broke out. Okay, let's wait for the retest and set our buy limit somewhere around here. They get screwed. Okay, I'm showing you and I'm explaining to you why your retail notions and why your beliefs and why your everything that you've been taught doesn't work. It's all a lie, right? Okay, ultimately we have equal highs above here. We have trendline liquidity. And we break structure, right? This UTAD ultimately breaks structure down here. Let me just extend this. Now, we have lots of liquidity that was just taken, okay? So all of the sell side liquidity has just been taken, basically, okay? They took this swing low. We have trend lines here that are also taken as well. Notice how when smart money buys and then they sell off heavily, they just create engineered liquidity. Okay, so as they come down, they start to induce. They induce all of this. Now what's up here? Buy side liquidity, resting above these equal highs, resting above this trend line, right? Maybe resting above now this new trend line, whatever, this broadening wedge, these retail notions, these retail patterns. Now, when price starts to make its way up, we clear liquidity here. We clear liquidity at this swing high. We clear all the liquidity at these equal highs, and we tap into our higher time frame POI. Okay, so all the buy side liquidity is going to be taken, as well as smart money is going to close their negative positions here as soon as they tap in. And then what you'll understand is price is going to do is there's nowhere else to go. Okay, so once you have all this liquidity, right? This is a game of probabilities again. Once we get all this liquidity, then we can start looking for those entries. Okay, we took all the buy side liquidity. Now we're targeting sell side liquidity. All right, and there was an entry here, but this actually didn't. This OB up here, this point of interest didn't actually break structure, so that was not a valid one for me. Although this one did. Okay, so let's draw our POI out. And we can see that we broke structure here. And we broke structure here as well as here. Okay, and let me just extend this out and clean this up. Okay, so this is an area of supply that we could be targeting, right? Or not targeting, looking to enter from ultimately, right? With a safe stop maybe above the ultimate high. Okay, but the point of this video is to get you guys to really understand that inducement is the most important thing. It is why smart money works. This is why the methodology that we use actually works, right? Because the algorithm targets retail notions. They know that you're looking for trend lines. They know that you're looking to buy here and sell here. That's why they break out. They know you're looking to get in at the break and retest. So they screw you over. Okay, they know that this is a pattern that you would like to enter from or see a breakout from, and you just get screwed on the upside and the downside all the time. Okay, and understanding that on the left side of the chart we have equal highs that have yet to be taken. What's up here? Buy stops. What's also up here? Sell stops, because this area is a form of resistance to retail traders. So as price starts to come back up here, everyone's in their sells. As price breaks this, now there's buy limits somewhere resting around here, right? At this area of resistance now turned into support. There's buy limits to take the market higher, and they get screwed again. Okay, so with all said and done, you're looking for the inducement, you're looking for the manipulation, because that's what you want to be targeting, right? We're trying to coattail, we're trying to ride the tail of smart money. Okay, now let's keep playing this market. understanding that we have a nice 30-minute area of supply. Now, there is absolutely no telling that this could hold, right? And there's absolutely no telling that that price can't just come into this 4-hour POI, start to redistribute, and then push price higher. That's why it's so important to take partials as well as along the way. And if that's something you're interested in, again, my premium group is in the description. We go into a lot more depth, right, into risk entries and confirmed entries. We go into it just a lot more depth of what I'm speaking about here, okay? So there's really no telling what price is going to do. It's a game of probabilities. That's why you need to take partials along the way. That's why you need to understand that those minus ones, constantly taking minus ones and then finally getting your move, right, covers all of those minus ones and gives you plus, right? Then that makes you overall profitable in your system. Okay. And what do you know, right? Price starts to move. Okay. So this was actually the move we caught. I had my stop loss above this safe area. I'm still in this move. And here we are at present time, right? This is right now, 4:38. Whatever, you can check the times up here. I just want to show you that this was a setup that I sent, right? We have the higher time frame here in premium. Then we have the lower time frame with this OB marked out with my stop loss above here. And we did take this trade. Okay, so there's just proof of execution for you. And if you want to catch trades like this, if you want to get into these setups and get into more in depth in price and smart money, definitely join my premium. You can pay a lifetime one-time payment, or you can pay a monthly subscription. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to find value in this video. And, you know, I just really hope that I can clear the things up and help you, ultimately just hope you get better entries and show you why what we do works. Okay, so this is the why behind everything, behind smart money concepts. And this is what no one is going to tell you. This is what your mentors aren't telling you. This is what no Forex guru is going to tell you. Yeah, so I hope you guys are able to get value out of this. And as always, good luck, good trading.